On a summer day, looking in the mirror, you often involuntarily sigh, don't you? Pigmentation spots appear on the cheeks, and brown growths can be seen on the hands. Especially often, women around 70 tell me the same thing. Doctor, isn't this inevitable with age? Yet in my 30 years as a dermatologist, I've seen many people over 80 whose skin looks much better than that of many 60-year-olds. Their secret lay in just 4 simple ingredients that could be found in the kitchen and were quite inexpensive. Think for yourself. Laser procedures in clinics cost tens of thousands of rubles, and expensive whitening creams are also not cheap. In fact, just looking into the refrigerator or kitchen cabinet can noticeably improve skin condition. If this topic resonates with you, stay with us until the end. Amazing discoveries await. My name is Kim Sujin. I have been a dermatologist in Seoul for over 30 years. During this time, I have personally examined over 20,000 patients and often encountered pigmentation issues in people over 50. In the hospital, we usually recommend laser treatments or chemical peels, but frankly, it's expensive and risky, as side effects can be serious. So for many years, I have been exploring natural skincare methods that can be applied safely. Every week, I give lectures on skin health in nursing homes, and I see the amazing results my listeners achieve by applying these methods. Today, I want to tell you in detail about this. We will use only 4 available ingredients to get rid of pigmentation spots and growths. This is especially important for those over 50 who have already noticed significant changes in their skin condition. After listening to the end, you will learn why this method is so effective, although it is hardly mentioned in clinics, and how to use it absolutely safely. First, let's understand why pigmentation becomes more pronounced in summer. Many believe it is related to age, but the truth lies elsewhere. Our skin has cells that produce the pigment melanin, which can be compared to a factory. Under the influence of ultraviolet radiation, heat, or even sweat, this factory begins to work more actively, which is why spots become more noticeable in summer. After 50 years, the skin's protective barrier weakens, making it more sensitive to external irritants. Therefore, even the same dose of sunlight causes more pigmentation in an elderly person than in a young one. I want to emphasize an important point. Many believe that only expensive creams are needed. However, most whitening components used in dermatology originally come from nature. For example, glycolic acid is derived from sugarcane, and lactic acid forms naturally during fermentation. Even the most famous cosmetic brands sell products containing these substances at inflated prices. What if we can prepare a mixture ourselves without preservatives and flavorings, preserving only natural benefits? My experience shows that the gentlest and safest methods include using natural components. Although laser procedures and peels can provide quick results, in the long term, it is more important to strengthen the skin's ability to recover. Today's recipe is based on this principle. We will carefully remove the hardened cells, reduce melanin production, and simultaneously strengthen the skin's protective barrier. All of this is safe and accessible. The first thing we need is baking soda, which costs about 100 rubles in any store. Any soda used for baking or cleaning will do, as long as it is pure sodium bicarbonate. Why is soda so beneficial? It acts as a super gentle exfoliant, carefully removing dead skin cells without irritating the skin as much as chemical peels. Let me give a real example. Mrs. Yeonja, 68 years old from Busan, suffered from a large pigment spot on her right cheek. She was so distressed that she even avoided looking in the mirror. 2 months before her daughter's wedding, she became completely desperate. The makeup didn't hide the blemish, and taking photos was a real challenge. She asked me for laser treatment, but her skin turned out to be too sensitive. I suggested trying a natural method. At first, she doubted whether such a simple soda could help, but a week later she called me with good news. Her skin had become significantly softer. 3 weeks later, when she came again, the spot had noticeably lightened, by more than half. Her skin had become lighter and smoother, and at the wedding, she took photos without a mask and with a smile. She still calls and thanks me. The secret of baking soda is that it removes dead skin cells along with accumulated melanin, like peeling old wallpaper to reveal a clean wall underneath. This is how fresh, lighter skin appears. But there is an important rule. Never use baking soda only with water, as it is too aggressive. It must be mixed with other components. Therefore, a second ingredient is needed. The second ingredient is natural yogurt without additives. It must be simple, without sugar, fruits, or flavorings. This is extremely important. Many are surprised why yogurt is applied to the skin, but dermatologists acknowledge it as a powerful natural whitening agent. Yogurt contains lactic acid, which is used in clinics for chemical peels. I'll explain it simply. Melanin forms deep in the skin and gradually rises to the surface, like a load being carried to the roof. Lactic acid gently breaks down this pigment while simultaneously moisturizing the skin. After 50 years, the skin's renewal slows down and pigment accumulates in one place, darkening spots. Yogurt helps dissolve these accumulations and restore freshness to the skin. But it is important to read the label carefully. Many modern yogurts contain preservatives or artificial lactic acid. The optimal choice is organic, natural yogurt with a simple composition. I will give an example from practice. Mrs. Kimpson, who is 72 years old and lives in Incheon, has developed numerous brown spots on her hands and forearms. Throughout her life, she worked in the garden and spent over 40 years growing vegetables, so her skin was constantly exposed to the sun. When I first saw her hands, my heart ached. The entire surface was dotted with spots, and sadly, this made her start to avoid socializing. Previously, she was active, participated in women's clubs, and shared her harvest with neighbors. However, gradually she started wearing only long sleeves, even in the summer heat, and was embarrassed to show her arms in front of her grandchildren. Her sons and daughter-in-law persuaded her to come to me, but at first, she waved them off. At my age, nothing will help anymore. Nevertheless, I noticed that her skin condition could be improved. I suggested she try a method with baking soda and yogurt. At first, she was confused about how to apply yogurt on her hands, but after some explanations, she agreed to try it. A week later, she called and said her skin had become softer. After 2 weeks, I noticed that the spots seemed to have lightened a bit. And after a month, when I saw her hands myself, the color of the spots had noticeably faded, and her skin looked better. She uttered a phrase that I would remember for a lifetime. "Doctor, I never thought that looking at my own hands could bring joy." Thus, the double effect of the yogurt worked, moisturizing and brightening. Especially after 50, when the skin becomes drier and pigmentation increases, yogurt solves both problems. Lactic acid brightens, and dairy fats moisturize. But there's a little secret. Before use, yogurt should be left at room temperature for 30 minutes. If too cold a product is applied, it can cause irritation. Now about the third ingredient, wheat flour, which is always at hand. At first glance, it may seem strange, but flour plays an important role. When we mix baking soda and yogurt, the mixture becomes too runny and drips off the skin, not providing the desired effect. However, flour makes the mixture thicker and helps it stick to the face or hands. But that's not all. Flour contains gluten protein, which forms a thin film on the skin, acting as a natural barrier. It prevents moisture evaporation and helps other beneficial substances to act longer. In addition, flour contains many B vitamins, especially riboflavin, which improves circulation and slows down melanin formation. Thus, flour not only provides the necessary consistency, but also enhances the whitening effect. The fourth and final ingredient is vinegar or lemon juice. Yes, don't be surprised. The acid in their composition helps regulate skin pigmentation levels and suppresses melanin production. Combined with lactic acid from yogurt, the effect is enhanced. It's like 1 + 1 = 3, but it's important not to overdo it. Vinegar or lemon juice should be added in just 1 or 2 drops. If too much is added, it can cause irritation. Now, the most important thing is the golden ratio that I have developed over 30 years of practice. To prepare an effective mixture, you will need 1 teaspoon of soda, 1 tablespoon of plain yogurt, 1 tablespoon of flour, and 1 or 2 drops of lemon juice. By adhering to these proportions, you will achieve the desired result. Now I will tell you how to properly prepare and use this mixture. First, prepare a container. It is recommended to use a plastic or ceramic bowl. Metal items are not suitable, as soda and vinegar can react with metal and cause oxidation. The next important aspect is the order of adding ingredients. First, place a teaspoon of baking soda, then add a tablespoon of yogurt and a tablespoon of flour. Finally, drop 1 or 2 drops of lemon juice. The third step, carefully mix all the ingredients with a wooden stick or silicone spoon clockwise about 10 to 12 times. You should notice a slight hissing and the appearance of bubbles. This is a normal reaction. Don't worry. The consistency of the mixture should be slightly thick, like mayonnaise. If it is too liquid, add a little more flour, and if it is too thick, a bit of yogurt. Now let's move on to the application. First of all, wash your face and gently pat it dry with a towel. Apply the mixture with your fingers or a brush over the entire surface of the face. You can apply a little more mixture to areas with pigmented spots. Keep the mask on your face for 10 to 15 minutes. If you have sensitive skin, start with 5 to 10 minutes. Then rinse the mask off with warm water using gentle circular motions. Many wonder how often the procedure can be repeated. Usually once or twice a week is enough. If your skin is very sensitive, start with once every 2 weeks. The main rule: do not use the mask daily, as the skin also needs a break. To avoid side effects, first conduct a test. Apply a bit of the mixture on the inner side of your forearm and wait 10 minutes. If there are no redness or burning, you can apply the mixture to your face. I recommend keeping the mask on for no longer than 5 minutes during the first procedure, and then, if all goes well, gradually increasing the time. After using the mask, follow a few important skincare rules. First, be sure to moisturize the skin. Olive oil or petroleum jelly works best. After removing dead skin cells, the skin becomes more sensitive, and if not moisturized, pigmentation may intensify. Just a few drops of oil should be rubbed in the hands and gently applied to the face. Secondly, the next day before going outside, be sure to use sunscreen with a protection factor of at least 30. After the mask, the skin feels renewed, and the sun's rays can affect it more strongly. Without protection, melanin will be produced more actively. Thirdly, even if your skin tolerates the procedure well, do not forget about the cycle. You can use the mask for a maximum of 3 consecutive days, then give your skin 4 days to rest. This is very important. Some believe that since a mask helps, it can be used every day, but without breaks, the skin doesn't have time to recover, and the effect will be less noticeable. In conclusion, baking soda can be used for gentle removal of dead skin cells. Yogurt simultaneously whitens and moisturizes, and flour gives the mixture density, nourishes, and retains moisture. Vinegar or lemon juice helps regulate pH levels and slows down melanin production. Remember these 4 simple steps, and you will have a powerful and safe tool. Recall how in summer you hid your face under a hat or mask to conceal pigment spots. How hard it was to look in the mirror or avoid photographs. I fully understand these feelings, but now you have the opportunity to change it. Your skin is still capable of transformation. Age is not a reason to give up. Those who regularly use this method noted not only improvements in skin condition, but also changes in their mood. When the face becomes clearer, confidence comes, and the smile becomes natural. Going outside becomes pleasant again. This is the true blessing of healthy skin. Remember, with age, it's important to become wiser and take care of yourself more consciously. What once seemed insignificant now demands attention. This also applies to skincare. Don't put it off. Open the fridge and take out the yogurt. Check if you have baking soda and flour. As soon as you see that all the necessary ingredients are at hand, changes will begin right now. And please, do not keep this knowledge to yourself. Share it with your friends and sisters who have similar problems. Doing this together will be more fun. You can support each other and celebrate the results together. If these tips were helpful, don't forget to share them with your loved ones, family, and friends. Good information is valuable because it can be shared, and then the joy becomes even greater. In conclusion, I want to remind you of a few important points. When you first start, don't rush. Changes in the skin do not happen overnight. But if you act consistently, in 2 weeks or a month, you will notice that your skin becomes fresher and brighter. The main thing is not to lose patience. Your skin is alive. It needs time to adapt. Remember, you are not alone. I am always here and ready to share verified knowledge about health. Let's briefly recap the main points again. Baking soda gently removes the hardened layer of skin. Yogurt brightens and moisturizes. Flour stabilizes the mixture and strengthens the protective barrier, while a drop of vinegar or lemon juice regulates pH levels and prevents melanin formation. 4 simple steps open a new stage in self-care. Remember how you used to try to hide your face under a hat or mask, turning away from the camera? Now imagine looking in the mirror and seeing smooth, bright skin. You take a selfie and smile, feeling neither embarrassment nor anxiety. This feeling of freedom, lightness, and confidence is priceless. I observed how not only the faces of my patients change, but also their mood. They start laughing more often, joyfully stepping outside, because healthy and radiant skin is not just about appearance but also about confidence and inner harmony. Please remember, as we age, we must take care of ourselves more consciously. What once didn't matter now becomes a necessity. Skincare is one such condition. Take the first step today. Open the refrigerator and see if there is yogurt inside. Look in the cupboard. There must be baking soda and flour there. Once you discover this, you'll realize that change is on the way. Don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Share it with a friend, sister, or neighbor who faces similar issues. Working together brings more joy and allows you to support each other, discussing changes and celebrating achievements. If you found these tips helpful, share them with loved ones, family, and friends. Good information becomes even more valuable when passed on. And finally, when you begin, do not expect instant miracles. But step by step, your skin will respond to you, and in 2 weeks or a month, you will notice the difference yourself. I wish you health, confidence, and beauty. May this summer bring joy, and may your mirror always reflect a smile. Thank you. Until we meet again.